up, YouTube people? Thank you so much for tuning in to Jasmine TTV. Y'all, I am back in America, okay? I'm no longer in South Korea. I am back in the US, and let me tell y'all something. I'm tired, all right? Jet lag, for whatever reason, has been kicking my butt this go round. When I came home in December of last year, I did not have jet lag this bad. I was able to bounce back before, but this time my sleep cycle, my energy levels, they're just all messed up. But right now I am running on lots of caffeine, and I'm going to power through because I wanted to get a video out for y'all within my first week of being back home. Today, I want to talk about my trip coming back from Korea to the US. For those of you who do not know, I did make a pit stop in Shanghai. I wanted to stop in Shanghai for quite a few reasons. Number one, it was the cheapest option, let's be real, okay? I found a very affordable price. It's cheaper for me to see a new place than fly straight home. Number two, I wanted to see Shanghai Tower. I'm kind of halfway committed to this idea of seeing the top 10 tallest buildings in the world, and Shanghai Tower is on that list. I've seen 3 on that list so far. And number 3, I was able to visit a new city, a new country, and that's always a good reason. Now, I will tell you guys, for anybody who is interested in stopping in China, you do need a visa to enter. They do have a 24-hour visa-free transit permit that they will stamp in your passport. So make sure you check out those requirements before deciding just to make a pit stop, because if they don't let you enter, then you will be SOL. So make sure you check out the visa requirements for China and any place that you visit. That's always a good thing to do first. So I had 23 hours from the time that I landed to the time that I had to leave the next day. I stayed in the financial district of Shanghai. I stayed near East Nanjing Road, top tourist destination. I visited Shanghai Tower. I ate the best noodles I've ever had in my life. I visited a temple called whatever this is called. I'm not even gonna attempt to butcher this. I also did a YouTube live stream while I was there. I met up with Tyreek, who is a consultant in Shanghai, and we have a mutual friend. So I reached out to him. He agreed to meet me, and he took us along East Nanjing Road during the live stream to an area called the Bund, where we could get a full view of the financial district of Shanghai. So if you like to see that live stream, here's the link. You can definitely check that out. The next day, I headed back to the airport, went through the long process of check-in, security, immigration, all of that time-consuming stuff, and finally boarded the plane. Now, the plane was set up with 3 aisles, 2 seats, 3 seats, 2 seats. I was on the outer aisle. I had a window seat. I was content. I was happy. There was a headrest monitor for entertainment. I had my window seat. I was prepared for this 10-hour flight, okay, from Shanghai to Seattle. And the person sitting next to me was this young Chinese woman. She was minding her business. I was minding mine, just the way I like it, all right? Everything would have been perfect, okay? But then, lo and behold, in the middle aisle, there was this elderly man, and I actually noticed this man in the immigration line because he was talking to some woman, and she seemed so uninterested in the conversation, and I wondered if they were together. Well, now he is on our row in the middle aisle, and when he sits down, he is talking to anybody who will listen. He's really talking to the lady that's next to me. He's practicing his Chinese with her. He's asking her what's her final destination, what she does, all this kind of stuff. Mind you, we haven't even taken off yet. I'm looking out the window and I can hear everything that they're talking about because the entertainment system, you know, has not cut on yet. So not able to drown everything out at this point. He's asking her about her job, and he basically boils whatever she says down to, oh, you're in customer service. And he tells her, oh, only the Chinese can do customer service. And I was looking out the window, but when I heard that, I gave a little side eye. I don't think that was an appropriate statement. But then I came back to my window because I didn't want to engage in the conversation. I'm the type of person, I need to kill all hopes, dreams, thoughts that we about to be buddy-buddy on this flight, because I'm not gonna sit up here and talk to you for hours and hours, all right? Unless you sit next to me and I think you can be my future husband, then we probably won't be conversing too much, okay? So I'm looking out the window, minding my own business, and he's still just talking to everybody. He's talking to the flight attendants. He and the lady next to me decided to switch spaces. She wanted to sleep, and I had the window shade up, and I guess he was gonna let her sleep in the middle aisle or whatever. But now he can still make eye contact with her, and he can also speak to the man that was originally sitting behind him. So he's striking up all sorts of conversations with everyone, and I'm still looking out my window. At some point, everyone he was having a conversation with decided to, started fading out of the conversation. So he decides to turn my way, all right? He said, "Are you African?" I said, "I'm from America." And he says, "Oh, my ex is African American." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Window, all right? I'm going back to my safety zone. I'm going back to the window. And then he proceeds to talk about prejudice and discrimination and gives me the definition of each and how discrimination is good, but prejudice is bad, blah, 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 blah. And I'm still hitting him with the, "Oh, okay," maneuver, all right? And then he says, and I don't think I mentioned, this is an elderly white man, by the way. He says to me, "I've experienced prejudice." And when I tell y'all, I was so torn because I had two thoughts hit me at the same time. Thought number one, I don't want to hear this shit. Thought number two, I gotta hear this shit. Okay? So I look at him and I just say, "What prejudice have you experienced?" And he proceeds to tell me about this story where he's driving in the South, as a Yankee, and he's driving in the South. He stops at a gas station, and there were these two drunk guys in a car, and they let their foot off the brake and somehow managed to hit the car he was driving. And he says he walks into the gas station and he asks the gas station employee to be his witness for the scene. And the employee says, "No, I didn't see anything. I can't be a witness, blah, blah, blah." And he said that he felt prejudice in that situation. And I said, I honestly don't see the prejudice in that situation. Like, I don't see it. I'm sorry. And then he says that you really just had to read the situation. I read the situation. And there was a black off-duty officer who was sitting in the parking lot that agreed to be my witness. So it worked out. I said, "Sir, I really find it difficult to believe that any prejudice that you receive in the U.S. can be equal to or greater than anything that people of color receive. So, okay. I'm going back to my movie. So I'm just going to keep watching my movie, all right?" And I try to put my headphones in, but he's still talking. And, the Southern hospitality in me won't let me ignore him completely, okay? Then he proceeds to tell me another story about how he was driving through the South once again. And he says, "I was driving through such and such, and I stopped at another gas station. The attendant looked at me, and he looked over at me, and he asked me, 'Are you a nigger lover?' Around. And I looked this man dead in the face. And the way he was enjoying telling the story ain't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? Thinking, it didn't occur to you to maybe bleep out the word. What makes you think I want to have this conversation right now? Sir, you know what? I really don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you. I would just like to focus on my movie. And I want to leave it at that, okay?" He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you with unpleasant conversation." He does leave me alone for a short period of time. But when we received our food, it was a chicken sandwich and some type of raw fish on top of a corn chowder thing I wasn't going to eat. I was just headphones in, eating, watching whatever I was watching. And then lo and behold, he's talking again. I take my headphones out to hear what he's saying. And he looks at me and he says, "You didn't eat your raw fish." I said, "No, I'm good. I don't like it." And he says, "Well, what Chinese food do you like?" It wasn't the first time that he asked me about Chinese things. Understandable, we were both coming from China. To try to dead all Chinese-related conversations, I just told him, I said, "Sir, I was only in China for 23 hours. I came from Korea. I don't know anything, all right? I don't know anything about China, all right?" And I'm going back to put my headphones in. He said, "Well, what's your favorite Korean food?" "I don't have one." "Oh, so what do you like, chitlins?" Bruh. Once again, I was hit with two thoughts. Number one, you're not just going to sit up here and just assume that all black people love chitlins. And thought number two, man, my mama loved chitlins. So it's like, I really can't be too upset because my mother really loves them. Of all the things, why did he have to say chitlins? Why? He could have said chicken. I would have been happy with fried chicken, watermelon, anything. Not really. I'm thinking, am I being too defensive? Am I being an angry person? I don't know, but I really wish this man would stop talking to me. So I looked at him and I said, "You know what, sir? No, I don't like chitlins. And honestly, in the short amount of time you've said the N-word and you've assumed that I like chitlins, I really don't want to talk to you for the rest of the flight. All right? I just want to watch my movie in peace." Okay, and I put my headphones in. And I sat in my seat not knowing really how to feel. I thought to myself, am I overreacting to things? Is this a teaching moment? You really shouldn't use the N-word no matter what situation, even if you are telling a story. Some people still may find it offensive. It was just a weird situation. Every time I took my headphones out, I heard the man talking, telling some type of story. Even when I got up to stretch my legs in the back, one of the flight attendants asked me, she said, honey, did you sleep at all? And I'm looking like, no, you know I didn't sleep. You know I didn't. I didn't sleep at all on that flight. I actually think that was one of the reasons I didn't bounce back as well as I should have. So what would you guys do in that situation? Would you use it as a teaching moment? Would you completely ignore this old man? Would you give him a piece of your mind? I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on the situation, okay? So luckily got through that flight, then went from Seattle to Atlanta to my hometown, all right? And also for the people who have been asking for the Sugarless Tea episode about my school experience, that is gonna come in a few weeks. Remember, I have to receive my final paycheck before I go spilling any tea, okay, about working in Korea. So just gotta hold tight on that, but it is coming, okay? So make sure you drop your comments below, any questions, comments that you may have, and I will see you guys next week, okay? Bye.